God willing, on the 7th of January 2025. As chairman for the subcommittee on ICT, digital economy and technology, some of the key things that we are speaking about is the fact that President Mahama is speaking about his 1 million coders project, where we're going to be training a million young people in our country in digital skills. We're going to be giving them coding, we're going to be giving them web development, we're going to be giving them system management, database management, several kinds of skill sets in the digital space, because you need to have a cadre of well qualified and trained technical people to be able to go to the next level of what we want to do. We've had our opposition make a promise, a similar promise, but they are just simply plagiarizing our promise. They don't understand what we're talking about. The 1 Million Coders project is not just about coding or training people in coding and giving them digital skills. It's about not just empowering them, but also creating the opportunities for them to be employed. And that's why you have the Digital Jobs Initiative, which is a policy that's going to have 300,000 young Ghanaian people with this employable skill after we've trained them, being enrolled onto the Digital Jobs Initiative, where we're going to see them begin to work in the formalization of the informal sector and being able to create the database that's needed for the Women's Development Bank that's going to be offering services to women. So you realize that our policies are all integrated. So it's not just a knee-jerk policy, but these are well thought through policies. Again, you're going to have members from that cadre of 1 million coders who are going to be part of what we are calling the business process outsourcing and knowledge process outsourcing hub that Ghana is going to become. When President Mahama speaks about the 24-hour economy, we believe that ICT is one of the key places where you can actually build a 24-hour economy. Reason being that Ghana sits on GMT time. If you run 3 shifts of 8 hours and you have a shift that runs from 8 a.m. and it's supposed to run for 8 hours, 8 a.m. is going to run till about 4 p.m. right? So 8 to 12 is 4 hours, 4 to 12, 12 to 4 is another 8 hours. So from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. you have one shift that's working, and basically what they're doing is they are servicing those who run in Europe. Europe is +2, +3 GMT, and you also have those in the Central and Eastern African parts, which are also +2, 3. So what you have is you have a cadre of young Ghanaians working for 8 hours, doing BPOs and KPOs for companies in Europe and Central Europe and Southern Europe, and same for Central and Southern Africa. Then you have the next shift that comes in from 4 p.m. to work till 8 p.m. Now that 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. is now morning on the east coast of the United States. When you go to North Africa and North America and South America, that is now morning. And so you have the 4 p.m. to 12 midnight shift that's now offering the same KPO and BPO services to companies in North and South America. Then you have another shift that's going to work from 12 midnight to 8 a.m. Now that shift is going to take care of Asia. From Dubai all the way to China and Japan, they are +4 to +8. So you realize that when it's midnight here, it's working hours over there. So when we talk about the 133 formula, and don't forget I gave you the 010 formula for boys on the street, but President Mahama is changing 010 to 133. So it's one job, 3 shifts, 3 people. So you realize that the same business process outsourcing center in an ICT hub that we've built, or a KPO in a business center that we've built, is going to continue working that same place, 3 shifts, 3 people. So if you have a KPO or BPO center that employs 200 people or has a 200 capacity, you have 600 people working in that same center. You're taking young men and women off the streets, because don't forget, you train them under 1 million coders and give them a skill. So that's how we're working with this. And apart from that, we're going to build the ICT park in Dawa, and we're going to have zonal parks like that across the region. So you're going to have one in the middle belt, you're going to have one along the coastal belt, and you're also going to have one in the Savannah region, in the Savannah belt, up north. Now what these ICT and centers are going to be, they're going to become Africa's Center for Excellence. President Mahama is talking a lot about agriculture and agro-processing. Now agriculture has gone beyond just digging and planting. We've got apps, we've got tools that are technology-driven, innovation, that are driven to help farmers determine what amount of water to give to the crop, what's wrong with the crop, how to treat the crop. All of these are digital tools, but many of these digital tools are in English. Now if you went to the Bono region, for example, A cashew farmer may not be able to use that app in English because he doesn't understand it. You don't need to rewrite the whole script. All you need to do is do AI and large language model learning, what we call large language model learning, to allow the app learn Bono and be able to communicate in Bono to the Bono farmer who is farming cashew. So you then take an existing application that exists, your coders are able to write the script, do the large language model learnings, so you are teaching it Dagbani, you are teaching it Grushi, you are teaching it Gonja, you are teaching it Ga, you are teaching it Nzima, so that the cocoa farmer in the western region is able to use the same app. Now you need to have the centralized zones that are going to be doing the large language model learnings in those areas, that are going to be doing cybersecurity, data protection. You've got a large oil enclave in the western region. You don't need to be having your cybersecurity professionals coming out from Accra all the way to Takrady. You can build an ICT hub in that area and enclave. But don't forget, it's all linked up. So from the 1 million coders, I've shown you how it's linked to the Digital Jobs Initiative. I've shown you how that is linked to the Women's World Banking to build a credit profile for the beneficiaries of the Women's Bank. I've shown you how that is also linked in itself to the Business Process Outsourcing and KPO Initiative, and how that's linked to the ICT hubs. Now, apart from that, another key thing that we're going to be doing is for fintechs. The world is digital now. And we're not talking digitization like Baumia, 1 CD, 2 CD phones. No, we're talking big high-tech, IoT, Internet of Things, the real big deal with 5G. Now, how do you do this? You need to be able to support your fintech economy to grow. And that's why we have a $50 million fintech fund that's going to aid the fintech space. We're going to create regulatory sandboxes. We're going to hold the hands of young Ghanaian fintechs, take them to angel investors, take them to venture capitals, but government itself is putting in the initial $50 million. Will attract at least another $200 million from multilateral agencies to boost and make the redundancy of our financial ecosystem one that is truly digital.
So my name is Lamisi Mavis Apeleva, and I'm the Deputy Director for International Relations and Strategic Partnership at the NDC Youth Wing National. Today is a great day for all of us, for the people of the NDC, for the people of Ghana, because we are launching the Reset Manifesto. And over here we have an exhibition booth, one of its kind. It has never happened, where a political party will launch its manifesto and have booths that would explain policies to people who want more details. So here I am manning the 24-hour economy policy booth, and this 24-hour economy is a game changer, just like the populists call it. It is here to change the game for us. We have issues of unemployment, especially among the youth. This 24-hour economy is telling us that in the whole day we have 24 hours, and we can take advantage of that, just like the US is doing, just like China is doing. Taking advantage of that means that within the day, we don't need to just limit our work to 8 hours. We can work 3 times within the day. We have different people working, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and one in the evening, so that a lot of us can have jobs. So this 24-hour economy, like I said, is the game changer. We are here to change the game. We are here to create employment. We are here to create lots of products and services so that we would have a lot to also export and gain more as a country. So I am urging everybody to support the NDC and give you a reason to vote for the NDC. Thank you.
So our manifesto is clear. You can read from what the president is saying. It's clear. See, agric should be the backbone of this country. Any country that has agric as the backbone develops. Because let me tell you, when COVID came, the only sector that was thriving is agriculture sector, because everybody must eat. So with the agric, I support him 110%. When it comes to galamsey and then the degradation of the land, I support him again, because we need to replant the destroyed forest. I was just driving this morning from Kumasi. When I go to Konongo, just by the main road, they clad it with roofing sheets. When I look ahead, I realize that they are doing that right in the middle of Konongo. How did we get here? And then when are we going to get out of it? It is when the young ones come together, we go to the polls, and then we vote them out. That is when the president can hold them accountable. That is where we can restore our natural resources. So for that one, if they want to ask questions, they should come now. When it comes to the students who are going to school, the first year they pay, the most difficult aspect of entering to the university, it is the money that you get to pay the admission fee. Before the admission comes, some people are not prepared. So you see them going around, looking for loans, looking for money. And then this comes with deadlines. They don't get the money, they don't go to school. Immediately you go into the school, the rest of it, hey, come on, you can manage it. We are in this country. We've lived by managing for so many years. We can manage. But the man didn't say that you should go in and manage. He said he's going to make student loan plus. So immediately you enter the school, it's an automatically qualification to get the student loan plus. So hey, stress-free. If we don't want this, what do we want? We want people who come on the stage, dance, wear shoes over jogging suit, get corn eating on the stage. You see the way the man presented himself. Don't you want the president like that? So a president can present himself like that, not being at the stage holding corn, chewing, the corn is falling, and then he will hold it.
And dancing as well.
Dancing.
Wow.
Are we having comedians? Please, are we having comedians now trying to show us examples? No, we can dance. On a social issue, we can dance. But when it comes to serious business issues, we don't dance. We must be serious. On that note, I'll tell you that every Ghanaian must come together and then we vote this incompetent, super incompetent government out of power, and then we restore the country.
We went through the exhibition site, and then our former president has introduced a policy that he's going to pay all universities, I mean the first years, he's going to pay them admission fees, which means as you a student going in your first educational institution, it's going to be free for you. Your admission, there's nothing you are going to pay. And then what don't you like? This is very perfect. Let's support NDC and our president John Dramani Mahama for these nice policies, especially the admission, the free admission for you as university students. Thank you very much.
I'm Gladys, nursing training Winneba. Currently, I'm working under the youth committee, Efutu Wings. To add up to what my sister just said, we are all excited. Like my sister just got an admission, she applied for university, and when she heard this policy for the first time, she was happy. She was like, sister, my dad is not going to pay fees for me again if this policy is really implemented. And we know he's going to do it for us. Come December 7th, we are all moving out to vote massively for John Mahama to come and implement that policy for us. So that those young ones outside there that get good grade after SS and they are not able to continue their education will get that free fee opportunity to further their aims and then ambitions of becoming whoever they want to become in our community. So please, we are urging all parents, all Ghanaians, don't be afraid of anyone. Vote for whom you want. And John Mahama is the man we are all going to vote for. Thank you very much.
Okay, and I'm Hafsa to Ismaila. Parents will come. When it comes to education, NDC don't go there. Vote for quality education for a better Ghana agenda.
We are having a manifesto launch that we've never had before. We have various stands where we have displayed key policies from the various sectors to allow people who want to have some detailed conversation on these policies to at least have that opportunity. Of course, as the lead of the governance committee, I'm happy to say that our manifesto reflects a deep sense of responsibility towards the people of this country, particularly towards curbing the menace of corruption. Indeed, this country has experienced a decline in moral authority, moral leadership, moral governance. These have been manifested in all types of malfeasance: state corruption, the grabbing of state lands, the fraud, the malfeasance that we see within the context of our annual audit report and a host of others. But importantly, we have also seen a decline in the professional management of this economy, which has led to all the challenges and difficulties we are experiencing today. One very important indicator is the level of unemployment in this country today. In 2016 into 2017, unemployment was around simply 8%. Today we are talking about 14.7% unemployment rate. But critically, with regards to governance, our government under President John Dramani Mahama is determined to review the asset declaration regime to include spouses and also to make it more transparent and accountable. We are looking to, as it were, institute a National Governance Advisory Council that will report on the state of governance in this country on a year-by-year basis, so as to provide a compass to government on its own performance. I'm not sure any government in the past has had the courage to set up an advisory council on governance that would report on the state of governance in the country. Government intends in this manifesto come January 2025 to implement the recommendations, review a few of them of the Constitutional Review Committee in order to ensure that the experiences we have gone through, our lived experiences, would inform a new legal regime that will address the expectations of our people. Government is looking forward in January 2025 to, as it were, institute a national corporate social responsibility policy to ensure that we harness all resources, both public and private, in order to ensure effective and efficient use of resources. Government, again, under governance, intends to ensure that through consultations we align all donor funding in a way that will rhyme with government priorities, again to ensure effective and efficient resource allocation. Importantly, government of President John Dramani Mahama is committed to root out corruption, to investigate the scam of acquisition of state lands and that of other communities, and also to retrieve looted assets and resources of this country. And all this will come under a framework that government will be developing and instituting to comprehensively address the issue of corruption. And to do this, government of President John Dramani Mahama would also look at streamlining and improving the ethical code of conduct for public officers in such a way that all public officers will be alive to the do's and don'ts of public office. And I guess that with some of these, government will be able to, one, stamp out corruption and ensure, as it were, integrity and good governance in order to revive the confidence of our people in our fourth Republican dispensation.
This is the infrastructure committee of the Manifesto committee, and we are looking at basically the infrastructure development of the country. So President Mahama and the NDC have agreed that when the good people of Ghana give us power come December 7th, which I know that definitely the good people of Ghana will give us the power that we all want as a people, we are going to look at what we call the big push, where we invest all our infrastructure projects under. Okay, so we are looking at one policy that touches my heart under the infrastructure project is the housing development policy. As a young person, I know how rent issues is becoming unbecoming in this country. We are not able to pay our rent. So President Mahama is saying that when he comes into office, come January 2025, he is going to bring a policy, or he's going to partner with the private developers like Grader to bring housing projects, okay, Yes, we also have the public sector also rolling out projects for public workers, and also the security sector, which means that security personnel will have housing projects. And we are not saying this just for saying sake. We are saying it because we know that President Mahama is a doer. He has done it before. We can take the Sagleme housing projects for an example. It was done under his regime. So we know and we believe that when the good people of Ghana crown our efforts with victory come December 7th, and he's sworn into office on January 5th, 2025. These are the projects or the housing projects that he is going to consider to make sure that he solve the problem of rent in our country. Yes, thank you very much. My name is Sheila Wimpang Ayambila. Yes. I am the Deputy Tain Coordinator for Greater Accra. Yes, please.
For the first time, yes, Asansa of Adia or the church. And the very first and a manifesto, the young fan said there. A unique painting a manifesto. And then the penny and the betting of what time book as you know, Akai. And your baby moon kitten. So be a old champion, you know, at least 1 point. They want the first time in the history of Ghana. ABS, you know. And the idea is to make the ordinary people appreciate what we are doing. So there will be a manifesto to say constitution. Constitution is an average. A day in the poverty here. But the idea is that the opposite party manifesto is not a more the idea. Momo who the woman. Until you have a boom, okay,
so, committee now science and technology.
So, make sure environment. So, I also say, on your environment, my was here in Shani. Now, young Tinamo, young Chimasomato. And the young manifesto on environment. The BMC is underpinned by common sense. Common sense to the extent that environment and the issue and the Maya and the Mayan Frama. So there was a teaching winning and the mount. And now Ghana is showing in our say. In Ria Bunina, Amphibians are buying SSika and the Junior. He has out to tell you. That is not common sense. So here, maybe to say, in Europe, and many anything can have Oko Prasia, baby, 2 Galante Biano, the back home now, they are from cooperative. Near moment to here, I'm a moment, I am Mojima, said it, said about and say environment. So back to the baby to say in your car. Yeah, Mapa Nipan forestry reserve, the Baba home by. So, Baba to say sanitation. Yes, say, baby, and I'm saying, you want I come to phone you know, yeah, public toilet. Yes, baby, Nipa, but you're Jana. So, baby, that's why I never be. I know you're baby. It's in an open invitation. A Bangura, yes, a local issue. You better be a local government. I'm a local government for us. In fact, my Panya catches them. This is the only idea. About responsible. And the agent said, you will let it back to them. The local government ministry.
If you watch in the history of this country, this is the first time that you see a political party exhibiting its manifesto for everybody to ask questions. So you realize that we don't want a situation whereby we always just produce a document, people don't know what is in the document, and we just come and make a friend. So what the record that the NDC has brought in, and it's a high innovation that we did how do you call it, exhibition for everybody. You are a child, you are old lady, you can just walk here, then you see it yourself and you explain it to you. And that is one of the greatest things that we have introduced into the Ghanaian policy today. And that is a record.
That's the exhibition.
And that shows you that NDC is highly innovative in terms of problem solving.
Okay, so tell us more about the economy.
Okay, now so you all agree with me that if you look at the economy now, there's a lot of high unemployment in the economy. Food prices are always increasing, which generally we call this high level of inflation. You could see how our city is not performing well, which we are saying that there's a high level of inflation. And you see that now the cost of living in the country is very high. Everybody is complaining. Even if you have salary, it will not even last more than a week. The money is finished. So now it means that a lot of things have gone wrong. So we need to bring it back. And in bringing it back, that is why that you are resetting the economy to be very robust so that people will do. And that is our team. We are resetting the economy to put it in a right path so that the economy takes off from that point.
Does it mean that the economy currently isn't on the right path?
Oh, definitely you can see now. If people are finishing school, they are not getting a job. Why will you say it's a right path? If your salary that you used to have, and today you can't use the same salary for even 10 days, it means things are going in a bad way. If the money that you used to change, 1 Ghana to 4 cities, now it's 1 to 16. Will you say the economy is doing well? No. So currently, we are just in a free trade in a negative way. So we need to reset it back to put it in the right path, and that is what the theme of the manifesto.
Thank you very much to all Ghanaians. We say thank you for listening to us and for listening to His Excellency. Even though the program is still ongoing, we take time to explain some of the issues. Which are in this current government, they've been in government for the past 91 months. Out of the 91 months, 52 of those months, food inflation has been above non-food inflation. Food inflation has driven Ghana's general inflation. The actually said the ordinary Ghanaian struggles to find food to eat. You can't even buy food. And so the basic objective of every government is to do the most basic things first. And so an NDC government is saying that our first objective is to feed Ghana. And so the first policy we have on the board is to implement a Feed Ghana program, whose objective is just to make food as easy and accessible to every Ghanaian as possible. And so we will implement policies that will allow us to be able to bring the livestock sector back on stream, to be able to bring crop sector back, to be able to bring fishery sector back, to be able to bring all the vegetables and poultry and everything back on stream so that food becomes cheaper like it was under the NDC. And by way of comparison, during our 8 years between 2009 and 2016, there was no single month in which food inflation was above non-food inflation or general inflation. Every month, food inflation had been lower. That's what we want to go back to. And so the first policy we are looking at is to feed Ghana. We will do this through a number of programs. The first is to establish farmer service centers across all agro-industrial zones. The farmer service centers will provide 5 main services. One is machinery services, so they will go and plow your land for you, they will plant for you, and they will give you input. That's the second service. They will input services. They will give you agronomic services. That's extension officers. They will give you credit services, and they will do what we call buyback. So when you are a farmer and it's time for you to farm, you go to the center, register. They will go to your farm. They will plow. They will plant. They will give you all the input that you need. When you harvest, then you now go and pay back what they've invested in there. We will implement this program so every farmer now have to worry about where to find land to go and do his farming. That will become the major distance. We will also want to rally all Ghanaians through the Yeribia program, which involves planting vegetables, be it tomatoes, be it your lettuces and cabbages, carrots, that we do all over in the peri-urban, in the urban areas, and even along our water bodies. We will support the individuals to do that. We will do an aquaculture development project. This aquaculture development project is to support our youth to go into farming of aquaculture, fish. Those that can produce tilapia will be supported. Those that can produce the cages to support the industry will be supported. So we give all this. We also look at what we call a broiler cooperative program. This one is for every household. As long as you are a woman, you are in a house. We know that if you are in a house, Obia at least a few there will be what government is saying is that we will support you with hatch beds. See what is the hatcheries? We will hatch beds. We will give it to you. We will take care of at least 100,000 households every year to produce at least, in fact, 160,000, 10,000 per region to produce at least 100 beds every 6 months. So this is to supplement what we do with our poultry production, so that we don't have to go about importing. The other thing is to start treating agriculture not as a disjointed program, but as a whole value chain, so that when we finish producing the food, we now have to look for how to add value to it. So to add value, we have to build the agro-processing factories. So we are saying that cashew processing facilities along the Bono Ahafo, all Bono Ahafo regions should be given. Where you go to the savannah, the northern areas, we have share. When you go to the western north areas, there's cocoa, there's coffee. You go all those places, there are some crops that every area is specializing. You must be given the resources to be able to add value to it. Fruits, those that produce fruit juices, those that produce coconut, you must have some support to be able to do it. And so our NDC government is saying we'll give you this. So in a nutshell, these are some of the things that we are looking at. And then you take that out, and when you look at the cocoa sector specifically, you know that Ghana's cocoa has been the anchor of our economy. It gives us the foreign exchange that we need to keep our currency stable. It gives our government the resources that it needs. It keeps farmers employed for many months. Unfortunately, this government has driven the sector into a ditch. As you see now, we are not only making losses at cocoa, but the industry itself is producing far lower than our average. In fact, almost half of our average is gone. So we are saying that we must incentivize the farmer to go back to farm and to produce. We must give the farmer the input that they need. So the free fertilizer that we used to give, we'll bring it back. The seedlings that they need to be able to produce, will support Chris to be able to give us that. We'll make sure that CHED, which is the Cocoa Health Extension Division, go to work and support these farmers to be able to. There's what we call farm we have to reproduce on the farms. Our farms have become stale. What the government has done is to cut down the cocoa trees and say they are supporting them. What we've done previously is to make sure that you take your farm, we come to the farm, we cut some, we plant whilst you are harvesting some, so that by the time this is up, this is ready to be reproduced. Then we go there and do the same. You don't go to somebody's farm, cut everything down, and say that wait. And then they now come and tell us that because of a policy change, they want to come and do syndication in Ghana. It is just a simple game. You've gone out there to look for money. No bank is willing to give you money because you can't produce cocoa. You are making losses at cocoa board, wasting money at cocoa board. So no one is willing to give you money. And so we are saying that we are going to change that, bring back the confidence that the investor used to have in the sector, and then be able to support the farmer, make this the industry appealing for the farmers to come in, and then deal with galamsey, which is affecting our farms. Deal with galamsey and make sure that we reclaim the noodle land so that people can be those lands can look back to it and then to support the agricultural sector. Okay. So in a nutshell, those are some of the things that we are looking at. Thank you. All right, Honorable, I would like to ask that with the agribusiness policies you just outlined, are you targeting people that are already into farming, or you are targeting people that are already into farming and youth who also want to enter farming? Both. So we are looking at first, we have categories of farmers. We have smallholder farmers. The farmer service centers and all those stuff targets all these people to bring them on board. We have commercial farmers, and we are saying that for commercial farmers, one of the major problems is land access. So we have to create land banks, create agro-productive zones, so that if you go to an enclave, we can go and take 10,000 hectares, for instance, put it down, clear it, pool water there, so you have irrigation facilities, pool electricity there, and then give it to commercial farmers who now produce. There will be a processing facility there to support them. So that's commercial farmers. And then we are saying that the youth don't want to go into agric, and there are reasons. First, most people think it's too dirty. People think it doesn't pay enough, and so why don't you make it more attractive to the youth? So to do it, you must add technology to it. Make agric smart. Add precision farming. Let the farmer, the youth that stand there and see a young man in farming who is doing very well, who is making a lot of money, and they will come in. And so we have programs like I mentioned, livestock development project that will look at bringing these people. We have cage and aquaculture project that will look at bringing all these people. We have various cocoa youth in cocoa programs. We have in fact an agric estate program. So a youth agric estate program, which is supposed to create estates where we bring a number of youths together, bring a commercial farmer there, and the youth are supposed to learn from the commercial farmer. We give them the inputs to learn, and after a year or two, they become good at the farming, and they can go on their own, and government support them using the Exim Bank, using the other facilities, the Ghana Enterprises Agency. All these facilities are there to be able to support young people that want to go into into our agric. And so the youth are the anchor of our economy, and we cannot do without bringing them on. And so agric actually needs them, and we have to be able to do it.
Anytime south and ma or more no sans one am free Demetia or more. Dear Metin or manifesto now say I am a dead Messiah Cheni, I'm a down on no quite a man I reach out for I am mobile or my way at check. Now and now Yahuza and so my PA I'm a teacher for I did big kind a teacher that teacher need to obey that ASM I'm a teacher nipa and I'm saying teacher ni a yumaya Jumana now I had a honor I'm a Juman entering person teacher ni and yum anya Juma or minor a year or abba teacher ni I was on a baby papa and teacher knew was said when I didn't tito or never will be a fair Jumana on so I know now Jumana was made him I had money don't be a man in Mahama a same say Dzata or see or be our Jane and a Jano a brother dinner being into a Sabiason or so a bar a different teacher that bed or Babuana teacher a B school young got this school and teacher and farmer to and frequent and quote Barbara will be at the honor teacher for Ellen that's what El General Mama I am because I thought to be licensing I am the teacher new Wako Training College Wako University for 4 good years we school we try exams more than 50 times we pass it yes it's a non traffic man in pure exams almost we traffic no some friends on some exams or buy yes what failing abandon Namakonia Sabiso send be our own politicians nobody says I fear money anything our faculty be to already or yes I don't know any teachers and I don't the money Mahama say and the silence exams now you go feel near what traffic near some patron and not yet or make a party then or the Bible share course room say Yami admits to Abanaman December 7th for now of where Benyan Yami admit January 7th for now. Obey Sergeant Fronom. Now you are Baba Abeka course room. Teacher who we 4 years and also we 3 years. What you degree we teacher now go away with my 1 year lances. Sa and a year Babere, Ebabe. They to be a queer for and a queer for himself. The Granny and you minor or minor a unique at all minor. And I don't know Mama Amayati as I said. I queer for a bomb, a year fertilizer and some, a bomb, I queer for at not a fertilizer. Now, Banjo to me about subsidized be, or Tim died at the amount of no much aquasom. Say, Gianna, oh, yeah, I had them. Oh, money, I buy Binam say, oh, yeah, one factory. No, even produce. Another young product, meaning the infant feed factories, you know. Mama say, or bar, or the East Animal for not I the center of the factories I had a baby, you know. Now, Alfonso at me and baby at a tomb, the Pianito at me, Hano, Juman at Macon, or Manso, at Gianna Abadoso, baby, a woman. When the baby I can't want, say time with some more bra, make me a calibre is right there, and I try to so I'm a be at me, I come out. Yes. Okay, we found. Yo, but I say, I was a person. No, quite many. Then I had to a man in himself. A Juma anyhow, a Mabuni Abre, then Jamabuni Abre, a Jumanere, anyone. I did back on Mabu now, many charm. I can cry air taxes. I sorry, bet. And not John the man, I bow me and Kufado. Only tax abato better so. I'm a boy say bread. When you even the young crowd better on say. What is going to go to investment account, you know? We are tax. We don't bet, you know. We are tax. So, we so we knew abandoning found who say do ya about masato tax na the double tax and we no was an old tax now I bet amadino my mentor that can there every man do a criase or as if you have an e-levy and I don't demand mama amati as say Sadamani na oba the year for moi every my you to know I like I just saw that's why you to know obey never you to know I high I idea you to know able say na me call social media platforms in you to know boss just say don't the money mama badian don't the money mama badian they know they make catch Ghana for say I feel and NDC and NPP ya we as them ya we what ya buy so ya my figures be obedi ba inflation no one obotom to say na buy dey ba say inflation 20% inflation say my near tadasem na you to asemati ya nyere ya we as them na nto abawe na you to know entiminere ene ba bi fa ehunsi na entiminenda so bi our man generation at my year the be American say secure your future vote for Mahama and secure your future.
Only for our economy the extra me say ye papa John Dramani Mahama say ejuma eda ho aye man nipa ba ko ye no nipa no ye from 8 o'clock now upon 4 o'clock na ye ya ebisa ho say from 5 o'clock e from no ade na ye ma obisu ye ejuma sa time no nti ejuma ba ko no ye benya nipa miensa no mo aye because ye benya 3 shifts nti e friend 1 3 3 na just obi kwa no pa na obi akọ na wapon na obi so akọ ewia na onu so apon na ahomache and say in the night na obi so akọ nti that will provide a lot of jobs for the teaming youth omunya ejuma ye bebre na area school ejuma no kwafo omunya ye o si ye be ma national apprentice program ye omo skills bi say omu school na say omunya apprentice bi and skills bi omba akwa be bo enye de bia na say obi we ka say mi ko pejuma onu anfa tuminya skill bia obetumi aye onu aka say ejuma ni nyina is involved within the 24-hour economy say ebia entire na opam na or ton man crop. If somebody is buying and they are working, it is from that source that they are also getting it. Into the 24-hour economy enya de yedi obi obaka say on tiase bia no onu aka say na wa sheda mpese obere obatiase because the extra say ejuma mako na eda ona ye extend ene aminu gina ha above 3 o'clock and I say kobo above 5 o'clock ebia uko China afi na omu sorry ebia uko Australia omu about 2 o'clock and I say uko Nigeria kra no about 6 o'clock or more. And so we need to be working around the clock. Now, am I feel so that what is happening now is that there's a major threat to your national security. The job and the unemployment rate, it has risen to its highest in Ghana's history. And I say, Basana, Obi Ohokra of Obokrono, and you need to pick up of Obokrono, a com can get na a dinner or Polesa, Yatina, let the Napa 12 years. But how about if we empower all those people? The young men, John Mahama say, Obama 1 million coders, IT skills. Abama Obi to need to know Hakrana, now your business process outsourcing. No, Juma, Edima Obi, you don't need to travel, but you can work remotely from Ghana and be paid here as well. Yes. Okay. But you know the people can say when power economy security somewhere no Mumbai Jumana
yes, and not them, and not them money because young fan say it was security, police service, young fan say on my own 21,000. And to say, yeah, 24-hour economy, not just the security, so I said, yeah, more count. And to 21,000 a year, you better multiply by 2, by 3. It's not just 63,000, and it's 42,000 a year count. Then I'm going to employ your money. And to win you are now TPR on TRC, and I would know TPR pay Jumaya. I'm not to me apply. This time, you can say, yeah, only 5,000. You hear over 42,000 to act. Selves, customs, immigration, military, and so the security that will be provided, you hear that and I am now more ejuma. So this will create more jobs even for other people and other critical sectors.
See, to everything there are two sides.
Yes,
there's the positives and the negatives. So the question I would like to ask is that after you use 21,000 as an example.
Yes.
So the 42,000 that would come to add up to the 22,000.
the 21,000, don't you think it would put a burden on the public purse? It will not put a burden on the public purse. If we have a government that can sink $58 million in digging a hole in the name of a cathedral, if we have a government that will spend $15 million in feeding athletes for just 18 days, if we have a government that can do all these things, that tells you that the money is there, we can use it for the right cause. But a regime has decided to establish corruption as an institution, and that is what is putting us where we are. So if we can even seal all those loopholes, that is more than enough to be able to provide for all these people. Don't forget that when people are working, they are working to be paid. Once they are working, they are also raking in revenue. So that revenue is also going to supplement whatever needs to be coming from government or from other people to give to them as remuneration.
Sector by sector. Now there. Now someone walk on one car or that to walk there. Ghana no one be seven with some. For the first time in the history of Ghana, a political party has launched a manifesto and has exhibited it in exhibition booths, open up for Ghanaians to come and ask questions about that manifesto. I mean, I think that is critical to the commitment of the NDC. Business was on the way there. The private sector, the engine of growth for every country. It's the idea there. There is a public sector, there is a private sector. So money, businesses ongoing. Yes, in there. Yes, in the men who are born my businesses were served. You want to work with businesses. You want to work with a man who start a business. There were incentives. Incentives. I don't want to if you want to start a business. I'm a one business. We're too fun. Now we're too happy. You want to have more export, because the more you export, the better it is for your country. The more you export, the better it is for your currency in the economy. Now, yes, then the National Women Development Bank. You will never take advantage of the private sector. We grow now, we expand. Now, we're too happy. My phone. It's in 24-hour economy. Now, every business is so incentives are running. We want to create more businesses for the people.
My name is Dr. Jabi Muhammad, a lecturer in development finance. Yeah, this is very important to look at the business environment, where we are going to be providing a lot of business credit support to businesses. For instance, we have what we call the microcredit for entrepreneurs. We are having a seed capital of 750 million Ghana cedis. It's going to be set aside to assist entrepreneurs to be able to have access to credit so that they can push in their businesses and grow their businesses. For instance, that 750 million Ghana cedis seed capital we are going to set up, the businesses are going to be applying for those loans, and the loans are going to be given to them. Aside the loans, we are going to make sure that we provide them with training services so that we can develop their businesses and advance the cause of the business, and the business can also expand. In addition to that, we are going to offer them with tax incentives. If you set up a business in the first 3 to 4 years of your operation, we are going to give you tax holidays and make sure that the businesses are able to advance the cause of what they have to do to give in more employment to the teeming youth. People are coming out of schools. If you graduate from the universities, there is a need for us to allow you to set up your own business. We have what we call the youth industrial parks that the administration is setting up. Every constituency, every district in the country is going to have a youth park, and that youth park that they are going to have, we are going to be able to train a number of businesses around that angle, and in that particular angle, the people they will be able to organize themselves. We'll give them the tax credit incentives, and that credit incentives will help to support them to move their businesses into a greater height. For instance, we are talking about 24-hour economy, and when the 24-hour economy is in full spring, the businesses that the youth is establishing out of school, we are going to rope them into the 24-hour economy, give them equipments so that they'll be paying on small credit basis. And some of them are also there we are going to ensure that we set up a base of a park. So if people are into working as artisans, we'll bring them together and give them a credit support. And those individuals are also going to be given a tax holidays, and they'll be able to work for some time and gather income and expand their businesses. So like we said, the 24-hour economy, we spoke about 133, where you have one job, 3 people are going to do it at 3 different times. So if you have about 100 youth companies going up and joining the 24-hour economy, it means that we are going to be having about 1,000 jobs being created for the 100 companies. If you have 1,000 companies, we are going to be having about 10,000 jobs. So these are laudable policies that the youth must support. And if they support it and vote for the NDC to come into office, these are going to help them to be able to be on their own. They don't need to depend on the government to be able to survive. The enable environment is going to be created so that they will be in a better position to work and work very well and grow their businesses. So it is better for you to be a business owner than to be working for somebody. So support the NDC, support John Mahama, support Jenana Opoku, and these policies will be delivered to you in a better time.
Midindi Alidu Umar Farouk alias Lome Asigame, Mijinaoma Kowa Project, NDC Kowa Project, Kowa Movement. And there, Muhusa ya Papa John Dramani Mahama. Yababe Sheki Winiba. Intinu Yabese Yentre NPP for say, Yedia Yeni Abri Papa. The Yanyaka Ejrenu. Ye mfa no sel ya adun say ye nya power no amfa maye onu de waka keke free nanu ye Papa John Dramani Mahama pese on try say wo ba power ye nuamu Islam fo no ye be ma mu loan bi kakana mu di ye mu business sesa ye nwaye na iyaye na ajagoran chin Kowa Project Kowa shigo ciki mu yi aiki mu ba NDC party ne da take tunane take rai da musulmai yau kasan Ghana NDC ya bari musulmai muka samu incin kanmu cikin kasan Ghana. Lamari na NDC sananin soyayyan musulmai kasan Ghana, NDC cikin constitution shi muna da Zongo Caucus kuma cikin Zongo Caucus muka kuma samu Kowa Project, Kowa Movement. Shugaban namu shine Alhaji Mas, National Coordinator mu, da shi da deputy shi Alhaji Kabiru. In kun ji mu muna wini ba kenan, ku duba jama'a da suka zo. Mutanen NPP hankalinsu ya tashi ba su tsammani aka zai faru ba. Izan Allah ya zo ya yarda ko ina kake in ka vote ka ba John Dramani Eyezu, ka vote ka ba MP da ke ngwanka Eyezak. Mun gode muku.
I'm Makawin Pini from Tempani constituency, precisely Akara community. Okay, I'm a student of this school, UEW, final year students, of course. So today is NDC's Manifesto launch, and we are all here to support our dear NDC party to launch the manifesto. And in fact, it has been exciting and magnanimous. If you see the manifesto, it includes all, especially the 24-hour economy that our president-to-be, Mahama, he said we have agenda 133. That means one job, 3 shift, 3 people. So this one, we the final years who are going out, it includes us. Check that one job, you can have 3 people that will be running shift. So in that way, the unemployment will be drastically or even completely gone off the system. And I really love it. It's good to be here. Thank you.
My name is Abogriba Osman. I come all the way from the Upper East Region. I'm a student of UEW, a level 300 student. Yes, my constituency precisely is Tempani. Yes, but following the politics of Ghana here, I realized, like after listening to the NDC launch of the Youth Manifesto, me, I am a student, and sometimes getting money to pay the school fees, I find it very difficult. So the idea that there will be no fees for the entry, and after that, maybe if you enter into the school system, you rely on the student loan to continue your education, I think it's a laudable policy that I support. And again, I'm a student year after year, I will be looking for a work. So if after a year I couldn't get the work to work, I will not be like, since from childhood, you know, I've been schooling up to this stage. And if I finish and I couldn't get the work to work, I will not be happy. So the idea that the economy, they will bring 24-hour economy for us to be working, I think it's a good policy. That one job, 3 people, 3 shifts is a good policy. And I'm very proud that in the future, if I finish school, I'll get job to work.